Hi.
I am sitting here with the one and only Jackie Chan, global superstar, and he is signing all of these books. Are your hands tired?
No, tired, but I'm happy.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm
really,
so
really
happy to hear that.
How do you feel?
Good. I'm excited. This is the first time I've done something like this before, a live signing.
Where do I want to go that I've never been? Oh, we're thinking about, not thinking, we're putting it in motion. I'm going to go to Indonesia on my Irresponsible tour this year. I'm excited about that. I've never been. And there's been a heavy demand for me there. So we're going to go. We're going to go to Indonesia and I'm going to make people laugh in Indonesia. That's how I roll. How do you roll? I can't make this up. Wayne, you got your Indonesia pants? I decided it about a good 3 weeks ago. You'll see it on the schedule soon, so I suggest you go get your pants for Indonesia, because you're not going to wear them stupid pants. Where do you think Indonesia is? India. Yes, we out.
You can see that I'm signing it. This is not some machine scribbling my name. This is my actual human body scribbling my name. So, all right, there we go. First book, signed.
We have fans from all over who have written questions that they want to ask you.
Oh dear.
And they're also going to get signed copies of the book. We're so excited.
Yeah.
So you ready to jump into
Yes,
some questions?
yes.
Hey, we're live at the live signing.
To my mind, the successful feeling at the end of a book is not that you have done everything you could with the book, but that you scratched the surface.
So it was a wonderful, it was a wonderful experience and a wonderful discipline in storytelling.
I'm going to start signing right now. I guess I'll sign in red. You know, red. I'm a Delta. Red.
Can you guys see that? See, he's a little smudge right there. So if you see a little smudge, that means Charles jumped on the book as I was signing it.
I don't mind doing signings because people really love a signed copy of a book. I know I do. I will sometimes sign a book to myself.
You were only 7 weeks old and ABC really wanted to get the new host in that seat and get things going. And I said, but I'm breastfeeding. And by the way, that was at a point like in 1979, coming up on 1980, you really weren't even allowed to say breastfeeding on the air.
I feel like this is something we kind of all need right now.
My life changed after my leg was broken in 1985. My world changed. I had the world by the tail. I had every material thing you could possibly hope for going for you in your life. And then all of a sudden, bang, in one instance, it was gone.
The only thing that matters is the love you give and the love you allow yourself to receive.
I'm healthier than I've ever been, only because I got healthy when I was like 40. Thank you so much.
Got it. Hi there. You probably recognize this guy. I'm Ned Rust. I'm his publisher, the James Patterson here, the #1 best-selling author in the world. And did
you just make that up?
I did some research before I got here today.
We are doing my virtual live book signing.
Live book signing.
This is crazy.
More and more authors are doing this. I think it's so cool.
Signing some of the signed copies that you guys can get at premiercollectibles.com.
You're going to be signing these books live over the next 45 minutes.
Hey, what up, this I'm watching myself. Look at that. I need to stop.
If you're OCD, how is this panic-inducing to you?
They're not
like all these.
They've got a bag.
Yeah.
They've got a bag.
I'm inspired by your success. What advice do you give someone who's never found his passion?
Hi, I'm Judge Janine Pirro. You probably heard of my book, Liars, Liberals, and Leakers. I may look like Greg Gutfeld, but I'm not. Actually, this is so exciting. My 8th book, The Gutfeld Monologues, is out. This is fantastic. If you haven't purchased it yet, you're dead to me. But you still have time to reanimate and become my best friend.
Biggest pet peeve?
Yeah.
Men that talk to me with spinach in their teeth.
What can I do while at work to help lower my stress and improve my health?
One musician do you most admire?
I love you all, and we'll talk again soon. Take care.
Bye.
Much love. See you.
See you soon, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
We'll see you around the world. Woo!
Have a great day.
Thank you, everyone here.
Bye, guys.
Say goodbye, Mary.
See you in the morning.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Hello, everybody. What's going on?
How's
What's
everyone
up, Joe?
doing?
How you doing? People are like, who the heck is this guy? I'm a good friend of Jo Koy here, and I'm a radio DJ in Los Angeles, but no one cares about that. They
Yeah,
care
they
about Jo
do.
Koy. No, they
Don't say that. I don't like
No.
that when you say it. How many times have
What?
I yelled at you for saying stuff like that?
I know, but dude, so just a quick story. I did a podcast with Jo Koy, and I explained who I was, and that piece of audio has haunted me for years. So I'm not gonna do it anymore. But hey, my name's Menace. I'm a good friend of Joe's, and you know,
The name of
I'm
your show
really
is
excited.
what? What's the name of your show?
It's the Woody Show. It's the Woody Show.
Thank you.
I was gonna get to that.
Okay.
I'm again, good friend of Joe's. I'm here for a book signing. I actually purchased his book. I spent my own money and I bought it on Amazon, and I absolutely love it. I think like in the book itself is multiple movies, TV shows, and just like you have lived an incredible life, and I really can't wait to talk to you about it.
Oh,
I'm honored that you can actually. Hopefully, I'm not disappointing you already.
No, I love it, man. Thank you. I
All right.
appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
That's very nice. It's so crazy to actually, because it took me 2.5 years to write that book.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from writing to posing for that picture on the cover. Like I still remember having to go and do the photo shoot for that, and to in your head thinking to yourself, is this book ever going to come out? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it was such a big part of my life. To now here we are talking about it, and you buying it on Amazon, and people going to Barnes and Nobles and picking it up it's just so overwhelming. It's so surreal.
Yeah, it's crazy. But the best place to actually get it is if you go to premiercollectibles.com/mixplate right now to get a signed copy of the book. You see, mine not signed. No signature in it. So we're gonna so yeah, if you want to get this book, the best place to go is premiercollectibles.com/plate. Also, you can submit your questions. We're gonna be answering a bunch of questions that already got their signed books. I have it pulled up here, but there's a lot of stuff that I want to talk to you about.
Check this out. While we're talking, I'm gonna sign these. How's that?
Okay, good.
And then these are
Sounds
what
good.
we'll sign out. Look, this is what we'll
Okay,
send
cool.
out.
All right, good. I don't want to give away a lot of things, so I'm just gonna like reference stuff without like pulling in the book. But you start off the book in the Philippines, and you talk about the people of the Philippines, and you talk about the children of the Philippines. And it's funny because before you shot your Netflix special, where you go to the Philippines and you just show the area, I had this experience where like the kids, they're just happy and enjoying themselves and really don't have anything, compared to in America where like, oh, they have the new PS5 the second it comes out, or they have, anything at their disposal, every little app they can pull up on their phone. I saw kids just playing in the dirt and have the time of their life, and here, and not to knock America, because I do love America so much, but the kids, I don't know, not a lot of them seem happy when they have everything in the world.
Yeah, that's so true. And that was something that I where your heart just breaks when you see a certain situation and you feel so sad, and then you see how happy they are and just how they're playing and not really realizing the situation they're in, because that's the situation they're in. They don't know anything else or anything different. So they're happy with their own lives. Like they're just happy people. And that's something we need to learn, especially when you're so spoiled and we have so much at our disposal. We take it for granted. You know what I mean? And when I was there, I was just like, wow, I don't need everything. I don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's not real happiness. This is real happiness. And I know that sounds stupid, you know what I mean? But when you're that innocent and you're that young, you don't know what bad is. You know what I mean? They're just
Yeah.
living their best life with what they have around them.
Yeah, I don't want to go to the typical thing of like blaming social media, but if you do look at social media and you get depressed by it because you see the things that people have, you
Yeah.
know, I don't think you should have that outlook. You should look at social media if someone's on a trip that you would really want to go to, or maybe something that you would really want to buy. Like, you should have the mentality like, oh, it's possible to get that, instead of, you know, making yourself feel bad about it.
Yeah.
I think that's the kind of mentality that you have,
Yeah.
where you get inspired as being sad.
Yeah.
You know?
When you go in a situation like that and you find that you can provide or create opportunity, you want to use that, right?
Yeah.
You want to make sure that you can provide like that because you work so hard to be able to do something like that. And I think when people put themselves in that situation, you know what I mean, where they take themselves from their reality and go see someone else's reality, you learn how true giving that is and how amazing that is. So I don't know. I just encourage more people to do that. You know, like that's the kind of vacation I think you should be on, where you can actually real life situations like that.
Yeah, definitely. I want to talk about your mom real quick. Your mom, her life, you know, before coming to the United States, of like what her job was.
Yeah.
If you said to me, I'll give you $1 million what my mom did before she came to America, like what her job was, and what she did, I would never get it.
No.
I would never in a million years. I was
In a
blown
million
away.
years.
I was blown away what you said in this book, what your mom did for a living, and what she did for a living while having 2 kids.
Yeah. Two kids with a previous husband before my dad.
Yeah.
You know, which is another story too that, you know, I tell inside the book about how amazing my dad was at such a young age, at 24, to marry a woman with 2 kids that weren't his, like to adopt them and take them in during a time when, you know, the racism at its peak, you know what I mean, in the 60s, you know what I'm saying? So for my dad to do something like that was amazing. And just my mom, the racism that she had to deal with, you know, at that time, like, who would want to be in that situation, you know, other than survival, right? Like, like I have to do this. Like, I need to do this, and I have to sacrifice. And that's what she did. And if you were to ask me to do that, on both sides, on my dad's side or my mom's side, I would say no to both.
Yeah.
I would literally say no to both. Like, I would not have that kind of strength or even a mental mindset to be like, yeah, let's do it. And that's in 2021. Imagine when they decided to do something like that.
Oh man, it was crazy.
In 67, I think they met. I can't remember when they met, but what? Are you out of your mind?
Yeah. But if you're just live stream, we're talking about Jo Koy's book, Mixed Plates. You can pick it up at premiercollectibles.com/mixedplates. You can see it on his Facebook right now, facebook.com/Jo Koy. Get all the links, get a signed book. And then you go into, you know, you talk about growing up in the Philippines. You talk about this crazy job in my head, and then, you know, coming to the United States. But then you really get into, you know, your brother. And I hear, like, knowing you personally, and I would hear like little things that you would share about your brother, but not really like get into it. And then you get into it in this book, and it's just like, I don't know. I talked to you about this before, but I tried to explain it, but I don't think I explained it in a really good way. So I'm going to try it again. But I think with your brother and the trauma that you went through for such a long period of time, that you could have had 2 outcomes on your overall attitude. You could have projected all that trauma onto other people and held on to it.
Yeah.
But you didn't.
Yeah.
he didn't, and which is incredible because definitely I've been around people that have been through like maybe similar type trauma. They hold on to it, and their every day is just like their their face is just like moping and angry. And was there any point, I mean, in your life that you going through that you were kind of angry at all? Or I mean, you definitely yeah.
Always.
But like but projecting it or holding it in?
Oh, never projected it. That's why I loved comedy so much. It was my escape. It was my outlet. Like I couldn't stop watching stand-up comedy for the simple fact that I hated being present in my own household. I hated it. I hated our reality. I hated being on eggshells, knowing that my brother could just lose it in any second. Any second, my brother could just lose it, and police will be at the house, and my mom crying, my sister's crying, and it was traumatizing as a kid, and I literally would just bury myself in comedy, and thank God that was my therapy. I always say, like, when you keep it in, it does more damage, right?
Yeah.
It does so much damage to your soul. It does so much damage to you mentally. But if you're able to like at least talk to a bunch of people that don't know you and hope to God that they can relate to your situation, it helps a lot. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to talk about my brother, but I was able to talk to a bunch of people publicly on stage, make jokes about family situations, and that helped me deal with my situation as a kid. But I still couldn't talk about my brother. It was so hard, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, for years, I never told anybody I had a brother because I was just completely embarrassed. Like, and that's so selfish on my part to be like, when someone goes, "Oh, do you have brothers or sisters?" I go, "I just got sisters," because I knew if I said I have a brother, they're gonna be like, "Oh my God, how old is he? Where does he work?" And then I knew it was gonna go into this whole thing about him in the hospital and what he's dealing with, and I did not have time for that. I just wanted to keep it in. And it's very selfish, and I'm embarrassed about it, but now we live in a time where it's okay to talk about stuff like that. You're allowed to talk about personal family problems. When I was a kid, it was, you keep that shit at home. You keep that private. No one needs to know about our situation. But nowadays, people like to talk about it because it makes you feel good. And when you find another person that goes, "Oh my God, my sister is the same way," you go, "Oh my God, really?" And then you share stories, and then you realize that you're not alone. So that's what this book was all about, was being able to tell that story about my brother. And like I said, man, I still shine beautiful light on my brother because I always say this, he's the funniest person in the family. He really is. He's funnier than me.
Yeah. I don't want to get too much into it. I'm going to go to some of the questions that people are submitting. But there is a story that you share in here. You just talked about your brother in the hospital, bringing food and soda to him in the hospital. And like that story, I'm like, dude,
really?
That's something out of a movie, man.
No, so were you relating to it, or you just couldn't believe it?
I wasn't relating to it, but the whole story about you bringing him that food and the soda in the hospital.
Yeah.
It was just something that you would think that was out of a movie,
It's
like
crazy.
the outcome of it. Yeah.
It's nuts to even think about too. And to know that my brother, this is how cool this is why he's so funny. But even in his darkest moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
He still was able to like capitalize on something.
Yeah.
Use his family member to do it. And I had no idea I was like this pawn. I was being used. I had no idea that there was a strict rule on caffeinated Pepsi. Like if I told people like, yeah, my brother asked for a 24 pack of Pepsi and I brought it to him because I'm just trying to be a great brother because he's in the hospital and he just wants Pepsi. I had no idea he was selling this shit like crack in there.
Yeah.
And people lining up next to the door because he told everybody that his little brother was bringing Pepsis. Yeah. Dude, I had no idea, man. But that was the life my brother led, man. It was crazy, man.
Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah, you have so many stories in this book about situations like that. If people want to submit questions, they can have a signed book. Just go to premiercollectibles.com right now. Go to Mixed Play. They have a question here, and I actually learned a lot by going to the book. That
I'm
answers
actually
this.
signing them right now, Menace.
What's up?
I'm actually
I know.
signing them right now. So
Yeah, if you want to get one, right? Again, premiercollectibles.com/mixedplay. There's a question on who did you look up first when starting comedy and why? So the early comedians, and yeah, you shout out a lot of comedians that inspired you in the book. And then there was a situation with your, again, I don't want to give away a lot of stuff. I just wanted to allude to it, but that you're begging your mom for a certain cable channel so you can experience more comedians.
yeah.
And so if you share some of the comedians like out the gate when you first started that you were looking up to.
Yeah, it's crazy because, you know, I always have to remind people I'm older. So it's like now when you say cable, it's like, yeah, these kids grow up
duh.
500 channels. Whereas back in my day, we had 3 channels and then they had premiere packages that you had to buy for HBO. You had the Showtime package. And I had to beg my mom for that package because that was back in the day when they had the specials, the hour specials on HBO. And I remember getting a free week. I remember one time I got a free week and I got a VHS tape and just recorded all the specials. Got it all on one tape. And if you guys don't know what video tapes are, it's like it's like a tape cassette, only bigger.
Yeah.
And then you have an option. It's called EP, LP, or SP. And and each one makes the tape longer. And I think it was EP is extended play. You can get 6 hours on a videotape. And you can end up getting 6 hours worth of specials. And I would load that thing up, man. I recorded Whoopi Goldberg Around the World, Eddie Murphy, Robin Williams live from the Met, Bill Cosby live himself. Dude, so many Sinbad. There are so many of these guys that I would just watch on repeat. Richard Jeni, Platypus Man, Chris Rock's Bring the Pain. Just all of these, man. Brian Regan, A Pair of Jokers. I can go on for days, man. But literally, like everyone always talks about going to college. Comedy, stand-up comedy was my college, man. I would literally, it got to the point where I was watching it and I wasn't watching it to laugh. I was studying how they got to jokes fast, how they got to that punchline, how did they get an applause break in the first 10 seconds of their joke, the way they would stand, the way they would pause in between lines, how they can make people laugh just by staring at them cold without even saying anything. Bro, I learned all that stuff. And I was a student. I was a student of the game and I was addicted and I could not. Oh, Richard Pryor. Oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
Live on Sunset. Yeah. It was nonstop. I could not stop watching stand-up, man.
Yeah, I want to go back because I'm looking also at the Facebook feed right now, and somebody said about Air Force bases.
Yeah.
And they have a question, but I want to go back to, you know, you moved from the Philippines to America and you lived on a few Air Force bases.
Yeah.
And the question is, have you done comedy at an Air Force base, or do you plan on doing show at Air Force base?
It's so funny. People always ask me, hey, are you going to do military bases? You guys, I do them all the time. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, I've done so many and I love it. I love giving back. Like the military is my life, man. I got 2 soldiers in my family. And, you know, I got 2 soldiers that are my dads. I have 2 dads. You know, I have my real father who retired 20 years in the Air Force. And then I got my stepdad, Sergeant Fred Harrison, you know, the guy that raised me when my dad moved out. And, you know, 21 years, I believe, in the Army, 2 tours of Vietnam, 2 Purple Hearts, 2 Bronze Stars, and a CIB badge. Like, you know, he's my hero. So I love and appreciate the military, the service workers, man, just what you guys do for this country. I can't praise you enough. And, I donate, I do whatever it takes to give back to the military, man. I love them so much.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite gigs were like, I remember when I did Korea, and I was on the 33rd parallel. I forgot what base that is. If anyone's watching right now, what's the base on the 33rd parallel between South and North Korea? But one of the coolest moments was me in the Jeep with the sergeant driving me to the theater to perform. And we're at a stoplight and an F-15 just goes across.
Nice.
Like just a fighter, just a jet, just on the road, crossing, waiting for a stoplight. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
$20 million airplane with bombs.
No big deal.
No big deal. And then he
Yeah.
salutes us, and it was just one of the coolest moments, man. I treasure those moments.
It's really cool. If you want to keep on submitting questions, just go to premiercollectibles.com/mixplate, pick up a signed copy of Jo Koy's book. And I wanted to go to, so you move around a lot. You move to this one area, and you said that you joined, like, I don't know if you actually said they were nerds, but there's like there was this group of kids that you joined, and they had the dopest name.
Yeah.
And like you kind of, I felt like you kind of joined like a nerd gang.
Yeah.
A little bit. If you really like, you had your own like logos and your own speak, and it's funny. And I don't think people realize like how many different places that you have lived.
Yeah.
And that was Seattle, right? Or Tacoma.
That was Tacoma, Washington.
And then in Tacoma, is that where your mom found like that hangout group, right?
Yeah, man.
And so that group is like kind of, I don't know, for some people it would be like the Elks Club, or just like, I don't know, like a group that would meet every like on a Saturday or Sunday night. And that was just like your hangout. That was your spot that
was
your
our
family would
community.
hang out at. Yeah.
That was our community. And like I said, here's another situation, when I was writing this book, where how do I explain to the youth, like my son's generation, what it's like to be an immigrant in this country, trying to find other people with the same ethnicity, without Instagram, without no social media, no Facebook, none of that. Take all that away, come from another country and land in the middle of a city, and then go find some friends that act and look like you and smell like you and eat like you and laugh like you. You know how hard that is, bro? You know how hard that was? And then all of a sudden my mom is finding these friends just so she can have someone to speak her language with, so she can talk Tagalog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There were no Filipino restaurants back then, so we had to find other Filipinos so we could have a potluck night, and then they all bring different items, and now we have like this makeshift Filipino restaurant. And then they make the kids perform, and that was our entertainment. It was like, that was our community, man. And it was at the Knights of Columbus. That's where that was. At church.
Is that where you started your career in dance career there, or what?
Yeah, that's where it all started, man. That's where it all started. That's where I fell in love with performing. My mom would make me dance. My mom would make my sister sing. It was that was our introduction into entertainment. So and that was the 80s, bro.
I know, it's nuts. I want to go a little bit after that. There was I don't want to give too much away on the book, but there's a situation where your mom was dating a new man, and you ended up living with this guy.
Yeah.
And you hated living there.
Hated him.
And hated it. And his whole thing that he constantly reminded you of was, do you know how good you have it?
Yep.
That's what he said. I don't feel like I'm giving away too much there, but it was a constant reminder. Is it do you catch yourself with your upbringing and like everything you've been through for your whole life to get to your point, to get to the point where you're at now? Is it hard for you to say to your son, like, you don't know how good you have it?
I will never say that to him, because for the simple fact that I knew how horrible I felt every time that guy said that to me.
Yeah.
And I hated it. Nothing worse than someone that pretends they're providing or giving. I hate it when people act like they're giving you something, but they're constantly reminding you that they're giving you something. You might as well not give them anything. Don't help. Don't extend your hand, because it's not from your heart. You know what I mean? It comes from a insecure place, and you need to be constantly rewarded mentally. So you always want to bring someone else down to make you feel up. You want to feel higher than them all the time. So you're constantly bringing them down. I got this. I'm the reason why you get to do this, and blah blah blah, and constantly wanting that acceptance, I guess, that you were probably neglected when you were a kid. It's it's awful. It's an awful feeling. And
to say you owe me.
Yeah, you owe me, and I will never do that. You know, I don't want my son to ever feel that way. You know, I work hard so he can live a great life, and I will not remind him every single day. I will just make sure that he pays it forward, and that'll make me happy. Give, man, and don't ever announce that you gave something. The minute you make an announcement that you gave something away, take it back. Take it back, man, because now you didn't give. That you're literally just giving something to yourself. So does that make sense?
Yeah, no, definitely.
When I give something, man, I even tell the people I give it to, yo, just keep it to yourself. Don't say anything. This is for me. It's a gift. It's a gift.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. I had there was another story. Speak about giving, like, I mean, you weren't given a car, but fast forward to when your mother started dating your second father, who I absolutely love in this book. This is my favorite guy in the book, other than you. Dude, this guy shit.
Yeah, he's gangster.
He's gangster. And the story that I love is him giving you the van on prom night. Oh my God, I can't believe that he even gave it to you. You know, in this in your situation. And then like what happened with the van, and all kinds of things. Like I said, like there's so many different moments in this book that, oh, that's a TV show. Oh, that's a short. Oh, that right there, the whole thing, your mom's life could be a movie. And weird is like, I think your mom's alone could be a movie, on where it could just be a drama, not even a comedy, just like her struggle can be a whole movie, you know? Yeah,
I'm with you on that 100%. It's
the
mental strength that my mom possesses is nuts. So, you know, I tip my hat off to my mom, because that takes a special person. I don't even think they make those kind of people anymore. You know how they always say that? I don't think they make these kind of people anymore.
No, for real.
I really believe that.
The people that strong, I don't think so. A lot of people in the chat, actually, I know we're doing the signing right now. If you want to pick it up, premiercollectibles.com/mixplate. You can check it out here. But super exciting too. Got people checking in saying that they already got tickets. You know, you re-release some dates for your tour.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Like, how dope is that? We got to shout out Terry, who's a coworker, and my friend Ravy, her friend Terry in Pittsburgh, and she's stoked. She already said that she got her tickets.
Oh, that's
and she's ready to go, and she's super happy.
You want to know what's crazy, Menace? Is you know, I'm doing arenas as well, right?
Yeah.
And nice. I just added Sacramento. I think it's called the Pledge Climate Arena.
Yeah.
I think that's the name of it. I don't know what it is, but we put it on sale yesterday, and it's already almost sold out.
That's dope.
And
Yeah.
it just goes to show the world is ready to go out again.
I know. It's
The
so
world
dope.
is ready to just hang out, laugh. I don't know if you guys know this, man. Imagine taking everything away. Well, that's stupid. I shouldn't say that. Everyone can imagine that. It happened to everybody. But this was my life childhood dream, to be a stand-up comic. And then right when things started happening, it all stopped. And I haven't been on a stage since.
Yeah, that was the question. That was a question I was going to ask. Like, the last time I saw you perform was at the Forum in Inglewood, California. Packed house, superstars everywhere, like guest people just jumping on stage, like electric, whole family there on stage, like the biggest thing ever, right? Like a straight movie. And then COVID, that stopped, you know? I mean, was there any points of like depression, like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened, you know?
Yeah, it was crazy though, Menace. I was depressed for a little bit because, you know, it's my soul, it's my heart. You know what I mean? Like I wake up every day feeding for the stage. Like I just want to get up. I don't care where. You know what I mean? I can go to a coffee house right now and do 45 minutes, and I will be so happy. And because that's what I love it. I love it so much. So when that was taken away from me, I was going through a little bit of depression. But then I started healing because I was with my son every day.
Yeah.
And then I started realizing how much of this I was missing because of the tours. I was like, oh my God, I'm missing Tuesdays and Wednesdays? What? This is what it looks like on a Thursday? I know it doesn't sound right to you guys, but I'm gone on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I don't know what those days look like with my son. And to finally have those days with my son and actually physically see him grow, he literally grew this much. He went from my earlobe to now we're the same height in 1 year. And now he's got a mustache. Like I would have never been able to see any of that. So I started getting happy. I was like, yo, I think the world told me to slow down and enjoy life. And enjoy moments and treasure these moments that you take for granted, because we always think that tomorrow, you know what, tomorrow. I'll see
tomorrow, yeah.
Nah, man, see him today. See your daughter today. See your mom today. Talk to someone. Shoot them a text. Say I love you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found like during the pandemic, it was a good time to like reconcile some people too, like the downtime. You get so busy, and then something might have happened, good friend of yours that you haven't talked to in a long time.
Yeah.
You just call them up and you're like, hey, the world is like might be ending right now. Why haven't we talked in a long time? Like, let's be friends again. But you to go back with your son real quick, and it's going to lead to another question that goes back to the book, but it was incredible because you always had these videos of your son even as you were touring, but I think they got even better like when you weren't touring, of like you being out in the desert and doing fun stuff, and taking the rest of your family out on like a bus and doing fun things. I did see like a while back though that one of your family members got injured. I think maybe pre-COVID or something like that. Do you remember? Was he out on a trip and you showed up at a hospital with him or something like that? He was on crutches.
Oh, you're talking about Trey.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's of course, that's like one of my favorite nephews right there.
Yeah.
Trey is just that kid that can, in his head, he can do it all, and then he ends up doing it all. If he wants to do a double backflip, he's gonna learn it. And he has to break 2 ankles to do it.
He'll do it. Just to recap a little bit better, if people don't know, Joe usually does these incredible trips with his family all the time. And you explained it to me before. It's just like you want to create memories, with your son and his cousins. And so you take these trips. And so I saw that injury, and it reminded me of, in the book, Mixed Plate, which you can pick up right now. If you go to premiercollectibles.com/mixedplate, you talk about a horrific injury that happened to you. And dude, your whole life could have gone in a totally different direction.
Yeah.
A totally different direction. I mean, without giving much away, you're lucky to be alive.
Yeah.
You're luckily
I'm lucky to be walking.
You're lucky to be walking.
Yeah.
And even that section of the book is just crazy. I mean, I think maybe I'm just making things up in my head, but there was certain points. You talk about I Love New York sweatshirt, and when we always talk about New York, we talk about Times Square and like how we love Times Square, and some people might think it's super touristy and blah blah. And when I got to that point in the book, I said that's why he loves Times Square so much, because of that sweatshirt that came up in the book. I mean, maybe I'm making a backstory, but I think there's some kind of connection.
There is, and it was so funny when you said that to me. I was like, holy shit, you're right, Menace. That's exactly why I stay. Like, to this day, I still stay at the W Hotel in Times Square. And everyone always says to me, why are you staying there? There's so many better hotels in New York City that you can stay to. And it's not that. It's just, imagine being a kid, broke as hell, you know, that sweatshirt, that I Love New York sweatshirt, that's iconic. It comes from Times Square. That's where you go. If you want to buy that sweatshirt, that's where you go. Times Square. So there's something about that attachment with that sweatshirt in Times Square with me to this day. And it's so funny how you don't realize it until you actually live it. And then someone points it out. You're like, oh shit. Yeah. I didn't even think about that. That was so funny that you said that.
Yeah. There, so on, again, premiercollectibles.com/mix, people are submitting questions after they can get a signed book by Joe. This is one of my favorite questions because I know you guys have amazing stories when it comes to this question. Is please talk about some of the jobs that you had before you were being a comedian full time. I know you have, I mean, you talk about 100 of them in this book. One of my favorite ones that you share though is the Mirage. Can you please tell me what your job was at the Mirage in Las Vegas? Mirage Casino, people don't know.
I was at the Mirage Casino and I was a dolphin tour guide. That's the truth. And Bobby Lee, I remember I flew Bobby Lee out because this is back in the day when I used to rent out theaters, and I had Bobby Lee do a show with me. This is 24 years ago, 23.
Yeah.
And I had Bobby come out, and I remember it was something to brag about for me. I was like, hey, if you want to go see the Dolphins, I got you. Like, it was like, that was you know what I mean?
That was your hookup, yeah.
And Bobby used to say that I used to clean dolphin shit for a living. That's what Bobby would tell people. He's like, before stand-up, Jo Koy used to shovel dolphin shit. I'm like, no, that's not what I did. I was a dolphin tour guy. If you ever go to the Mirage and go on the little dolphin tour, whatever it is, just know that I was one of those tour guides back in the day. And I would make up names because all the dolphins look the same. They're all gray. So I would just make up names all the time, and people would buy it every time. Like, oh my God, so that's Steve-O? Yeah, that's fucking Steve-O right there in the middle. I had no idea.
Yeah, you had an amazing story that you shared. If people are tuning in and have no idea who I am, I work on a radio show called The Woody Show. My name's Dennis, and you came in on The Woody Show, and you're talking about working at that dolphin exhibit, and you had an opportunity to be at the Laugh Factory in Las Vegas, and you drove from the dolphin exhibit to the Laugh Factory and back. But like your time to be on stage was like what, was at,
Late.
like you're late, like super late, and you had to leave the stage and then automatically go straight back to the dolphin exhibit,
Straight
and how
back.
you could barely keep your eyes open.
No, couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't. And by the way, I only had a one tail light on my car. I remember that too. But imagine, dude, just imagine that, man. Imagine getting out, you know what I mean, driving to Vegas, not going home, just driving to Vegas, driving from Vegas to LA, just to try and get on stage. And immediately, I remember sitting in my head just calculating because every time a minute would go by longer than my actual time that I was supposed to get on stage, I would just calculate in my head like, oh, fuck, I'm not going to get home till 5:30 in the morning. And then another 10 minutes would go by like, oh, fuck, I'm not going to get home till 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
But, that's what you do, man. You got to like, you know what I mean? You had to take whatever gig you can get, man. And I was happy. I didn't care.
Yeah.
I would drive 15 hours to do 5 minutes. That's what you did, man.
Yeah.
That's my 4 years of college. People sacrifice 4 years of their lives in college to get a degree or whatever it is. Well, I sacrificed all those years. I got a doctorate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how many years I sacrificed to get to this master class that I'm in now.
Yeah. You you really came up in Las Vegas doing comedy, doing show after show, putting on your own shows. But you have an incredible story in the book, talking about how you got a camera, and then how you got the camera, and then you went to a place to get your hair cut when you had hair.
Yeah.
and then just opportunities came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
To get yourself on stage, and then how you took that camera to record yourself on stage.
Yeah.
And when you were in the moment on stage, how you felt versus when you went back to watch it, and like how different that was. Yeah.
Because you can't explain what an applause break is, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't. Like, how do you explain that to like just a person that doesn't get on stage? You don't know what an applause break is. You know what I mean? You have no idea what it is. So to experience it, imagine experiencing it for the first time, where you say a joke and then you hear people clapping and laughing at the same time, which is an applause break, right? So when you hear it on stage, you're like, holy fuck. That was amazing. Like, I'm experiencing it for the first time. Like, that's what it sounds like. That's what an applause and laughter at the same time is. Holy shit. And I remember rushing home. I remember the whole time that I was there at that cafe, I was just like, I couldn't wait to get home. I just wanted the show to be over so I can go home and plug this into my TV so I can watch it. You know what I mean? Because it was just so enormous in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And then I plug it in, I watch it. It's just one dude.
Yeah.
But what I felt on stage was just, it was
like arena.
Yeah, it was an arena, exactly. But it was just one dude.
Yeah. In the book, you talk about meeting people throughout your career, and a lot of people are asking, I mean, are there any celebrities that you still, or people that inspired you that you still want to meet that you haven't met? I mean, I think I can think of one. But
what's that?
Maybe some cast members of In Living Color.
yeah. I would love that. I would love that, man.
But I want to talk about also some full circle stuff of, you're way into music. If you're around Joe, like Joe has the best playlist out there, and you absolutely love music. And if anybody follows Joe on social media, you can see that he's always around Boys the Men. Like, how was that for the very first time, being a fan, for a huge part of your life, and now like you're just hanging out with them all the time?
Well, first and foremost, you should close your curtain.
I know. I just realized that. I'm
Take a
sorry.
break.
You can answer the question for people, and I'll be right back.
I'll wait for you.
Are you serious? No, don't wait for me.
Yeah, it's not that long of a walk.
No, it's on the other side. I swear.
You got it. Go get it.
Okay. All right.
We got plenty of time.
All right.
That's so Menace, you guys. This is what he does best. You know what I mean? Innocent. He's
professional, I promise.
That's why I love Menace so much. He's an
I
innocent.
didn't realize that was gonna happen. Sorry.
Um,
But yeah, like being around people that you watched on television or you were a fan of, and now like you're around them.
Yeah. Yeah, you're talking about Wanye Morris.
Yeah.
I love Wanye. We're best friends now. That's my best friend. That's my guy.
Yeah. Well, what was your?
Voice to Men? How crazy is that?
I know. What?
And I love him so much. He's so damn funny, naturally gifted, naturally talented, and one amazing story he's got as well. So I think that's why we relate on so many levels. His wife is also half Filipino, so that's amazing.
Oh. Yeah.
So so we're really connected. So it's just it's so crazy. Like, you know what's crazy is, you know, he lives in Vegas now. I also have a house in Vegas, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we hang out, we always hang out. And of course, he always plays like 90s mix on like Sirius, right? So he doesn't know what's coming on while we're driving. And then all of a sudden, like a Boys to Men song will play, but he has no idea because he's, you know, it's his song. He's heard it 90 million times. He sang it 90 million times. So we're just driving. And there was a song that came out called Thank You that he had on the 2 album, Boys to Men 2. And I go, and he was just talking. I stopped him. I go, hey, man, I just want you to know when this song came out, I lived in Vegas. And we're driving in the area that I used to live in right now. And I used to listen to this song. And now I'm listening to this song in the same area with the guy that wrote this song and sings this song. And I go, this is fucking mind-blowing right now.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like, this is mind-blowing. Like, when I was a kid, I used to drive right here, this road that we're on, listening to your CD. And now I'm on the same road, listening to this song with the guy that sings this song. And it was such a cool moment, and, you know, just sharing stories back and forth, and just how our love for the stage is incredible. Like, he's a fan of mine. He's a huge fan of mine, which is so cool. Like, for me to be able to say that I'm a fan of his and he's like a fucking fan of mine, and we appreciate each other. And you were there that night when he walked on stage.
Yeah. Just, again, I mean, personally, I love that full circle stuff. It's just mind blowing and awesome. You know, I want to talk about a little bit more stuff in Vegas real quick. Denny's comes up a lot in Vegas in your book, and like going to Denny's in Vegas and like huge moments in your life, and good and bad. And I mean, when you drive by one, do you think about that kind of stuff, or you're just like, oh, it's Denny's?
It's so funny because we had that conversation also, didn't we?
Yeah.
And you brought up you mentioned the same thing to me. And once again, it was that New York moment where I was like, oh shit, maybe that is why I go to Denny's all the time. Maybe there is this connection of like post-trauma that I had. And now I'm at that point where I can afford it. So I go to it all the time. And not only that, it's comforting for me. It's comfort food. It brings me back to my childhood when I was a kid, where scrambled eggs and cheese and the all-American breakfast is, you know, back then was expensive. But now I'm like, I can buy the whole goddamn restaurant one if I want to. So I'm gonna. So it's so weird, man. Like that.
Yeah, because I think there's things that are like super traumatic and like really good at Denny's. It all makes sense if you pick up the book. You just go to premiercollectibles.com/mixplate. You can get a signed book by Jo Koy. And the other thing is there is another huge conversation that you have with your mom, but it's not at Denny's. It has to do with the TV show playing in the background. I'm not going to give away the TV show. Please do not say it on this stream. but I'm hell bent on getting your mom, because the show's around,
Yeah.
to get your mom like in the background of the show, because that's another full circle moment, because
I might just do that.
there's a huge moment in your life where you have a conversation with your mom and there's a show playing in the background, and we got to get your mom on this show, man. We just got to do it in some kind of capacity.
Do it. I think that's such a great idea.
Yeah.
To this day, we're still fans of that show.
Yeah.
I mean, who isn't?
There's one more thing, and then we'll leave Vegas, because we got to get to LA real quick before we wrap up. Again, go to premiercollectibles.com/mixplate to go get a signed copy of the book. I mean, there's so much stuff to talk about. Okay, there's two quick things. One, there's a moment where you're supposed to go on a Grand Canyon trip, and dude, emotional, like emotional moment beyond belief, and just like shock and crushing at the same time. And I'm listening to the audio version, driving from San Francisco back to LA. How do you even like read through that kind of stuff and relive it? Was it easy for you? No,
that was one of the hardest things I've ever done, was reading that. Doing the audio version of this book was so mentally draining. It was only, it's so funny because they only scheduled me in the studio for 3 days. They wanted me to read this whole book in 3 days. First of all, I can't read. Okay. So now you want me to read in character and deliver each line, you know what I mean? In character. And then 2, the emotion. Like, I had no idea that these stories were going to bring me back to those places like that emotionally. And it ended up I ended up being in the studio for 2 weeks. It went from 3 days to 2 weeks in the studio, because it would take me days to get through one chapter, because I was so emotionally attached to each chapter that I would just cry in the studio. I was literally crying. And I was like, holy.
I mean, there's some rough moments, man. And honestly, I think because I know you, I could tell like some of the, like, a slight pitch in your voice at certain points of you trying to get through things that you're sharing.
It was hard. I'll tell you this too, man. There was I remember the last chapter when I finally read like the last line, and I went right to my car, right? I left the studio, went right to my car, and then I called my sister and I go, I'm going to Vegas, and don't call me. Don't call me for like 3-4 days. I need to like decompress right now. My brain just needs to decompress. And that's how emotional that reading was.
Yeah. I got to get to LA real quick. So fast forward in the book, we go to LA. You have all the money that you have in your like your entire life savings in a bag, in an apartment, no bank, nothing. You'd be robbed at any moment. And so you explain how that worked, how you budgeted, and how you got around in LA, and you also explain some key moments on how you changed your act to talk more about your family, to talk more about your upbringing versus like the penis jokes, the dick jokes, and things like that, where you move to more personal things, and like how some key players around you helped you turn it around like that, which was huge.
Yeah.
And you shout out a lot of comedians that have helped you out through your career, which is amazing, because it's a good when I love shout outs. I love when people shout out people and acknowledge. Some people don't do that, they're like, oh yeah, all the time. I didn't, but dude, you shout out so many people in this. I think it's incredible. Yeah.
I don't understand people that don't. It's almost like they're embarrassed, or they want to take full credit for your success, your own success. Like, who climbs to the top without having a helping hand bring you up? Like, why is it that you just want to forget about that person that helped bring you up? It makes no sense to me. You know what I mean? It's like they want to sit on this mountaintop that they've climbed, right? And they just want to be like, only I did it. Only I got up here. I did it by myself, all by myself. Like, go fuck yourself, man. No one did. Not one person. Not one person. Give me the biggest person that you can think of right now. I guarantee you they didn't do it by themselves. They had a team of people. They had they had helping hands. They had people that were in position of power that helped them, that gave them just that little tug that they needed, but it meant the world to you. And no, man, I shouted out everybody, man. Corey Holcomb is my favorite person in the whole world. I say it every time. I've told everybody, Corey Holcomb. Look him up, man. Corey Holcomb gave me so many gigs when I needed it. You know what I mean? He told me to change my act because he didn't understand who I was on stage. Like, it took a big brother like that, like Corey Holcomb, to say things like that to me, to motivate me and to push me. You know what I mean? Yeah. Here I am crushing it in front of him, thinking that I was something. And then in a blink of an eye, he just told me, nah, man, that ain't it. You need to do this. You need to do that. You want to be a headliner, you got to do this. You got to do that. And I tell Corey that all the time, man. Corey Holcomb. And there's so many other ones. Jo Koy. I can go on forever, man. I do it in the book.
Yeah. Go to premiercollectibles.com/mixplate, pick up a book, signed book. And I'd really want to get to this, before we wrap up. You actually opened my eyes on, it's weird because I felt, growing up in the San Francisco Bay Area, I felt like I lived in a really, really diverse area. I was exposed to a lot of things. I was really aware of racism, but there's something in this book they talk about when it came to doing gigs, when you started getting gigs on the regular, right? But not the top tier type gigs, but like just so you can get on stage every single night.
Yeah.
And you opened my eyes that like, oh crap, that was straight up racism, and I had no idea. You know? And I don't think I think honestly, sorry, I think really you're the only one I've ever heard point that out, and it makes so much sense. And I know like people are like, what are you even talking about? You explain it in the book, but when it comes to doing gigs, when you're a minority, there's like clear racism in front of everybody's face. No one recognizes it.
Yeah, because to them it's normal. It's normal. And it sucks when you live in a country that's it's predominantly white. Like, come on, man. Like, do the percentage. It's like 75%. You know what I mean? Like, it's literally that high of a percentage. Like, no bullshit, you guys.
Yeah.
And when you try and talk about your own ethnicity or try and shine the light on your culture, you get looked down upon. And I get it because it is the majority, and they can use that excuse of, oh, we don't get it. But what is that? How do we live together when you act like that? You know what I mean? And why is that normalized? Why is that okay? Why is it that, when I was on the come up, I had to do theme nights because, you're ethnic. So I don't think we can all get it because, well, we're white, so we don't get it. So, and it was just crazy, man. And like, I know people hate hearing stuff like, oh, there was systemic racism. Oh, well, yeah, man, that shit is real. It's fucking real. And I was a part of it and I had no idea. Like, even me reading the book, I was like, holy fuck, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Why am I doing a show called Asian Invasion on the Thursday nights? On Thursday nights. The shittiest day of the week to perform, by the way. A 10 o'clock show on a Thursday night. Asian Invasion. Talk about failing. And I also want everyone to know that show was a fucking hit. PK, Amy Anderson, all these people that were throwing out these Asian shows. Chris Spencer and Pookie Williams over at on Laugh Factory on Chocolate Sundays. The Black Chocolate Sundays.
and
Like,
and,
come on, guys.
and people don't really.
Fridays for Latinos. Like, these are real themes, man. Real shows that people we laugh at now, but it's, think about it, man. Like, that's a form of systemic racism that was just like normalized. Yeah, that's what we.
To be honest, I didn't even realize it until this book that it's not because we want to do it that way. Not necessarily. It's because we had to.
Look at Guy Torry. Look at Guy Torry, man. How amazing Guy Torry is. Guy Torry, at the time, by the way, was killing it in Hollywood. He was getting a lot of roles in Hollywood. But when it came to having his own night at the Comedy Store, they gave him a Tuesday night. The worst night. I thought Thursday was bad. Tuesday's the worst in Hollywood. Try and be a promoter on a Tuesday night. And they gave him a Tuesday night, and he called it Fat Tuesdays. PHAT, Fat Tuesdays. That's the black night at the Comedy Store. And guess what? It was the most successful, longest running show in the history of the Comedy Store. And check the receipts. You'll never find a show that would pump out as many superstars than that show did ever. Check the receipt. Fat Tuesdays, man. From Bill Bellamy to D.L. Hughley to Cedric the Entertainer, Steve Harvey, Chris Tucker. The list can go on. I can't, there's so many, I can't even name them all. Dion Cole, Corey Holcomb, Kevin Hart. Bro, I can't stop. The weigh-ins. You know what I mean? All of them came from Fat Tuesday. And where's the receipts, man? Like, where's the recognition? Where's the award? You know what I mean? Like, why? Why was that given a Tuesday night? Imagine that shit on a Friday night. But nope, they didn't give them a Friday night.
Yeah, it was a huge wake-up call when it came to the book.
Yeah. Sorry, I get a little high strung when I talk.
No, I love it because I believe this is the first time I'm hearing it. To be honest, I think people just that's just how it is.
Yeah, it's just how it is. Well, no, it's not anymore.
No, we're running a little over time because I could talk to you forever. We honestly only scratched the surface. There's so many people checking in online talking about how excited they are to see you on tour. So many requests on different cities that they want you at. So make sure you go to every single city that you can, because
we just added Brooklyn, King's Theater, Brooklyn, because Radio City Music Hall sold out already. So we added the King's Theater in Brooklyn, man. So New York, I'm coming.
I'll be there.
Now I'm in Vancouver. Look at that.
I know you've been quarantined for what,
I'm out of
2
quarantine.
weeks?
I'm out of quarantine now,
Okay.
and we start shooting the movie next week. So get ready, because Steven Spielberg just signed me to a movie deal. Big shout out to Dan Lin and Ride Back and the whole production team. We're about to do a huge movie. The cast is pretty much all Filipino. We got a lot of diversity in it. We got everybody in this movie. So. And thank you, Steven Spielberg, for financing this whole thing. Amblin, Holly Barrio, we did it, man. We're about to put our culture on the map.
Yeah, you used to work at a shoe store, dude, in Vegas, and you're talking about Steven Spielberg doing a movie.
How crazy is that?
It's pretty big, right?
Yeah, man.
It's pretty big, man. I love talking to you.
I love you, man.
Yeah, hopefully I did good on this for you. I apologize if I didn't.
I love you, man.
Yeah, please go to jokoy.com, jokoy.com. Make sure you pick up tickets, see Jo Koy live wherever you can find Jo Koy in around the world. Also, make sure you pick up a book. Go to premiercollectibles.com/mixedplate if you want to get a signed one.
Where?
premiercollectibles.com/mixedplate.
Got it.
Did I say it right?
No, that's right.
I mumble a lot, so.
I love it.
Yeah, I can't wait for the movie, man.
It's my good friend Menace. Big shout out to Greg and Ravy, and of course, our love to Woody.
Yes.
They put on an amazing morning show, you guys, and it's in every market basically, syndicated everywhere. And I'm just honored and happy to call you my friend, man. So
Same here. Same here. Can we make this into a movie too?
yeah, yeah, we can.
Please, please. And I need your mom in that TV show, and I need a story. I need a dramatic movie about your mom's life too.
Done. We'll write it.
Done.
We'll start writing.
We even talk about your sisters too, and all that. There's so much stuff. So
they can get the book.
Get the book. Get it. Mixed plate. Do it right now. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this Facebook Live at facebook.com/Jo Koy. And I guess we'll see you next time. And follow Jo Koy on TikTok because you're killing it.
Oh, thank you, man.
At Jo Koy, yeah.
At Jo Koy.
All right, everybody.
Love you guys.
See you later.
Love you, man.